Aerodrome Finance, why most people are not ready for this upcoming move. My name is mikemadz. Let's start this video. Before I start the video, AERO community, as always, make some noise. Every comment matters, every like matters. The more people engage, as always, the more the video is going to be pushed out and the more people are going to hear about Aerodrome. Pretty simple. Let me know, are you still holding Aerodrome? Did you sell? Let me know your thoughts. Let's start. Right, let's stop wasting time. Let's jump straight into it. Again, Aerodrome is at crucial support levels, seemingly like every week. This is why I want to push out this video as fast as possible. Today we're going to talk about the good. We're going to start off with the good here. Good signs. Aerodrome is developing in the right direction. Prepare. Doing this right now is crucial, especially if you're still holding Aerodrome. The price action and what I found in the charts here, that this is super interesting and is almost mimicking this altcoin one by one. And of course, is the price predictions that people are pushing out here, are those still valid or should we change our target here? Let's start. All right, starting off with the good here. Now understand, most people are actually giving up on Aerodrome, and I can see it first of all in the comment section. Many people are being pessimistic here, blaming inflation, blaming all types of things here for the price action, while we're simply in a correction. And this is why it's super important to take a look at the metrics, as always, to differentiate, is Aerodrome moving in the right direction, or are actually those people right here? Will Aerodrome never recover? Now take a look at that. First things first, one of the most important pairs here, the wrapped Ethereum to USDC pair, is having more volume here on Aerodrome than on Uniswap here. As you can see here, $3.7 billion here compared to $2.5 billion. This just simply shows you again, Aerodrome is solidifying its position as the hub here of the L2 space. And especially in my personal opinion, Base is the only significant and most important L2 for Ethereum and is thriving in that sense. And as you can see here, despite of course Aerodrome price being down, volume is still there, and this is super impressive, especially in this depressing time that we're in here in this cycle. Take a look at one very interesting find here. Grayscale added Aerodrome to its list. What does that mean? Long story short, it shows you big institutions and big players have Aerodrome on the radar. You don't see every project here on this list. And one super important add-on, as you can clearly see here, Aerodrome being the only base play here among these tokens, again, just simply shows you Aerodrome is the #1 representation of the base ecosystem, which alone this fact here is extremely bullish. Doesn't mean here that Aerodrome is a complete safe haven now and will move 100x, but definitely a good sign to see Aerodrome on this list here of Grayscale top 20 here research coins. And it just simply shows you big institutions and big players having an eye on Aerodrome. Let's see how this develops. Now, long story short, big picture, volume-wise and product-wise, Aerodrome is still being used. Volume is still there. Volume is still in the billions, and I have nothing to worry about here product-wise. Now, sentiment-wise and price action-wise, this is a completely different story, and we'll cover that shortly. Take a look at the price action, and one very interesting find here that I will show you, comparing Aerodrome to BNB actually, and how it's almost mimicking BNB one-to-one. And as we all know, BNB also an exchange here, centralized exchange, but last cycle we had a similar narrative. You know, take a look at Aerodrome first. From the top, unfortunately guys, we're already down over 80% here, 83% from the top. Absolutely brutal correction, no question about that. Was it my base case? No, I have to admit this was not my base case, but to be fair, I actually warned you about it. A couple weeks ago, you can check out my worst case scenario for Aerodrome, which we got very close to. This is just simply part of the crypto game, guys. This is part of the crypto game. Now, usually we don't see this type of corrections in bull markets, not very often at least. 2019, we had a similar scenario, or usually in bear markets, of course, we see those type of corrections. Currently, I still expect this is only a summer lull, but we have to see if this is only a dead cat bounce, super important, or this is finally the bottom here, and this should be the moment where you start bidding heavy. I will tell you that shortly. I'm taking a look at the bounce here from the lows. This is where big players for sure went in heavy. This is not retail here. Retail is leaving. Retail is far gone. They sold their bags, got scared, which is understandable again. This is here big players entering this space at very attractive levels, in my personal opinion. And we had a 60% bounce. Not many projects saw this type of bounce. So this is promising in the short term. But as you can see here, we are correcting to the downside again. And currently we are testing this bull market support band. This is why it's super important. If you have TradingView, activate this bull market support band. Very crucial moving averages here to have on the radar. As long as we are below this band, as you can see, the trend is simply bearish. And the retests here can happen from the downside. which get rejected most of the time. Once we have a confirmed close, multiple confirmed closes here above the bull market support band, this is the moment where you go in heavy. So currently, my personal opinion, I would simply just wait. Don't try to catch falling knives. Even if these prices here are attractive here, especially if you're bullish on Aerodrome, don't try to catch falling knives, because there is a scenario where the entire summer here is just simply bearish price action and you can simply still dip 30-40% from here. This is reality, and as an investor, you need to be ready for each scenario and you need to keep emotions out of it, guys. I like Aerodrome, I'm bullish on Aerodrome, but this chart here is currently not bullish, unfortunately. This is a bearish chart, but again, looking in the future here, I'm almost certain Aerodrome will recover, but right now it's the time to lay back, okay, sit back, watch the chart and wait for a bullish confirmation. Now take a look at this comparison here, comparing it to BNB. Now BNB, Binance, is a centralized exchange, but again, it is simply an exchange here like Aerodrome being decentralized. And last cycle, the BNB narrative was huge. This cycle, the base narrative is slowly catching up. And this is why it's important to take a look at that and comparing those two. And I saw very similar price movement actually here. BNB, massive run up here to a very similar market cap actually also. And then BNB also had over 82% correction here, also in the summer months. Can take longer than most people expect, but eventually BNB recovered here. Despite having an over 80% correction, BNB recovered and BNB pumped over 5,000% from there. Now imagine how those people felt that up here, having seen this massive drawdown. Most people gave up, and from this point, BNB pumped another 5,000%. This does not mean Aerodrome is going to mimic this price action one-to-one, but this simply shows you don't give up hope way too early, especially while we still have lots of room to grow here in this cycle, in my personal opinion. I personally simply don't believe this is the top. This is just simply my personal view again, a summer low. Of course, altcoins are believing heavily here, some altcoins more than others. But I personally think the future is bright, not financial advice. But in this next coming days and weeks, you just simply have to sit on your hands and just simply wait out this phase. Don't try to catch falling knives. Prepare, do this right now. Long story short, you have three options, three very simple options, and you need to decide in which option or which criteria you fall in. The first option being just simply sell and move on. For which people is this? For which investor is this? For people who lost hope, for people who don't understand cycles, for people who cannot sleep at night because they're overinvested, and simply for people who are not bullish on Aerodrome. Just simply sell, get it over with. Your health is more important than any type of token. If you don't understand cycles and if you're invested for the wrong reasons, just simply move on. Do your research, invest in something different, invest in a different asset class, maybe just simply leave crypto, which is totally fine, guys. Okay, if you fall into this, just simply sell here. Pretty simple. Cut your losses and move on. Second option here is for people who are convinced that Aerodrome is bullish in the long term, who are bullish on Aerodrome itself, who understand what base and the coinbase here in this space, and who simply think this is a summer correction and that Aerodrome will see high prices here in the future. But at the same time, those people don't want to invest any additional funds here, so they just simply hold. Now for those people, again, one of the most important thing and almost a necessity here on Aerodrome, make use of your Aerodrome, guys. I keep saying it. And from my option, in my personal view, the best option here is Aerodrome landing on Seamless. Again, you don't have the risk of impermanent loss here and you get a decent return here. This is fluctuating here. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. Currently at around 15%. And at the same time, you're accumulating other tokens here, the Seamless token, and this TVL is actually increasing. Now I know there's other protocols, there's high returns. For me personally, guys, safety is everything, and this is why I choose Seamless. Again, if you are a holder, make use of your Aerodrome. Don't be lazy. Don't just hold it. With this APY, you're beating some of this downtrend and especially you're beating some of the inflation. Super important. And there's of course the third bracket here, the ultra bullish people who understand corrections, who think that this is the bottom and who think Aerodrome is going to be at much higher prices here in the next couple months. Then of course you simply buy more. Not all at once. If you have a basket of cash, just simply DCA into the market. Those levels are definitely attractive, especially if you're bullish on Aerodrome. All right, coming to the end of the video, are price predictions still valid? Now you see many price predictions here on YouTube, $20, $50, $60. Some people even call it for $7 Aerodrome. Now the base case, I think we can agree on, most people think that Aerodrome safely can reach a $10 price prediction. Is this still valid here at this point in time here? Now, of course, guys, I cannot make any price recommendations here, but I personally, again, still think Aerodrome can at least hit $10 here. It's not out of the realm. I know currently it looks like it, for sure, but it's not out of the realm. And you have to keep in mind, guys, we're currently in the phase here. As you can see, we're at mass fear here. We had mass fear, while in last month here, guys, as you can see, we were at mass greed here. And this is why it's super important to differentiate who you're listening to, what you're looking at here, especially in the background. Are the metrics right, or is the sentiment wrong? And again, it makes sense as an investor, if you're bullish on the asset, to buy when the fear is in the market, to actually sell when there's greed in the market. Super, super hard thing to do. You almost have to reprogram your natural instinct, but this is just simply investing here. But again, this only applies on assets that actually have a chance of survival here. And I personally think Aerodrome definitely falls into that. Now, take a look at the price potential here from those lows currently to get to this $10 level here. This would mean a 1,800% gain to the upside. Now, is this still possible? Yes, guys, this is still possible, especially if we move back into bullish territory, and especially achievable if mania is back here and if retail is back. This price target is not out of the realm. Now, what you should aim for as an investor, start taking profits at $3 and start taking massive profits at $5. So what I'm trying to say here, expect $5 and be happily surprised if Aerodrome moves higher than that. At the end of the day, guys, everything has changed in this short period of time, but at the same time, nothing has changed, okay? The fundamentals are still the same for Aerodrome. The numbers in the background are still healthy, but at the same time, sentiment is at absolute low. People are giving up, and you should learn from this part of the cycle. Write it down. How do you feel currently about the price? How do you feel about your portfolio? How do you feel currently sentiment-wise? And in a couple months, we will look back here at this time frame and we're either going to say, damn, I wish I bought more, or damn, I was totally wrong. I was totally blinded by euphoria and I was wrong about the price here of Aerodrome. Now, personally, guys, my personal hunch is that this is just simply a summer correction, which can last another 1 to 2 months. But I personally expect here in September here for things to pick up again, and we'll go here step by step. And of course, I will follow you with that journey. At the end of the day, guys, the most important thing is be bullish on yourself. That yields the most returns. Do your own research. Super, super important. The most important thing is, as always, don't get wrecked.
God-given, not from blue tops like Mars Simpson, just hard discipline, pot simmering, cooking up, no rocks in the pan, watching the plan form in the sand, bidding castles out of thoughts in our head, late nights, no sleep in my bed, trying to see my dreams manifest. Look at that, now look at that, we nice. Put the past on ice, I was bad.